Hi everyone, and welcome to this new Gamersyde live. It's been a long time since we did one, so yeah, very happy to be back. Tonight, as you can already see, we are going to show you Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is going to be released in 2 days, I think. And as usual, Driftwood is going to do the talking and the playing too. Hi, Driftwood.
Hi, Blim, and yes, welcome back to to something that is live, something that is actually a video game being played, and I've done my share of talking about Tomb Raider in the past few days. To be honest,
Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah, I was.
So yeah, please let us know about the sound levels,
Yeah.
because we had to reset a lot of things after the podcast. So yeah, please let us know.
So this is not the beginning of the game. I chose to take you to the first village you reach in the story, and this is not the village. Obviously, this is outside the village. There's a crypt, and much like in the previous Tomb Raider games, ever since the reboot in 2013, there are places that you cannot actually have access to unless you have the proper gear, and well, overall, it's the same game as before. I mean, it hasn't changed. What has changed is probably that it's more balanced, or it's balanced in a way that, as far as as I'm concerned, and I actually haven't completed the game. Defton has had time to finish it, but with everything that I've had to do, with the videos and the voiceover and everything, there was no way I could actually complete it. Even more so because I'm so slow, taking my time to just take my time. And yeah, what so far I've been enjoying more than Rise of the Tomb Raider for two reasons. One reason is I like the setting a lot more.
Yeah, it couldn't do much worse than Russia.
Yeah, Russia,
What
and
a great
again,
idea that was.
it was Russia, and at the same time, everything you discovered there didn't look like Russia, except for the the bases, the military bases you could find. But so I don't know, it didn't really do it for me. I didn't like also that story with those people living secretly forever, and
Nothing made sense. Honestly, it was just plain stupid.
It was a fun game to play. It was a good looking game also when it was released.
I did a review, so yeah.
Yes, you did.
I remember.
Probably the last review you did.
Could be, yeah.
And so this is pretty much the big difference for me, is that Peru is a place that I think, well, the original Lara went to Peru, and so it's a little bit like going back to the character's roots in a way.
I think that's a point of the game.
Yeah, I guess. I think so too. There's a second reason why I think this game is more, well, it's better for me than the even the previous two actually I missed. Is that combat seems to be less present, at least in the first part of the game. You don't get to encounter as many enemies as before, and when you do, well, there's basically it's even easier to actually get rid of them in a stealthy way, which means you don't have to fight that much. From what Defton told me, it obviously changes a little bit in the second part, because well, enemy presence has to grow stronger as you approach your goal, and because you're still facing Trinity, and Lara is she's been affected by everything that happened to her in the past few in the previous two games, in the two previous games, and again, obviously, what happened to her father as he died because of Trinity, and so she's so adamant, she's so determined to prevent Trinity from doing whatever they want to do, that she maybe she doesn't think of the consequences sometimes, and that part is interesting, I guess, because that's what the game is about. It's about the consequences of your actions, you know, which is something that you may think that she never does as a character, or even in the past, the first Lara Croft didn't really care what she was doing. She
Yeah.
was, you know,
Clearly.
so that's the angle that they have in this game, and then this yeah, it's a lot of jungle, which I think looks very, very nice. There are moments when, again, I was actually blown away by the visuals. Not that it's perfect by any means. Again, it's not. There are things that you know, if you try to look at the details and everything, probably going to find things that oh no, this or this, you know, popping
we've got
issues
the realest question.
Oh yeah.
They could ask: is it the best Tomb Raider ever made?
No, the best Tomb Raider ever made was Tomb Raider Anniversary, I guess. For me, at least. You're perfectly entitled to have another opinion, but
Well, I like the mention in an Anniversary. And
yeah, but everything.
Else,
I think it was
it felt his age. Yeah, so in terms of game mechanics and everything, I thought it felt dated a bit, but
yeah,
the mention was
sure,
awesome.
but it was one of the best remakes they've ever made. You know, they.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree on that. But yeah, I don't know.
The first game has always been the one I always preferred, because it was about basically one person exploring empty tombs, you know, except for the wild animals. Very few human enemies. That feeling of loneliness, those puzzles, you know, well, finding your way out of situations, but also of, you know, rooms. The diving sequences, underwater sequences were great. The music.
I mostly remember this game because it was my first 3D FX.
Well,
game
yeah,
on
it must
PC.
have looked great at the time. I just had the game on PlayStation.
It was amazing.
So
I remember spending hours just running around the mansion and jumping in the pool because it was so mind blowing.
So we're back in the village. So yeah, to answer the question, I don't think that's the best Tomb Raider to date. Now, if you consider just the three last games, I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't finished it, so I think it's more appealing to me than the second one. I thought the first one was interesting, but then, you know, again, the first half was very interesting, and then the weak, fragile Lara became this killing machine in an instant, and I thought that the writing was terrible. The characters and the character development was not really interesting, so it was a bit of a letdown for me. When I remember the opening vividly, you know, that when you wake up and you're tied up and you discover this really spooky place, and then Rise was more interesting, or was probably better in terms of exploration and mechanics and things like that. But you know, they added a lot of loot and things like that, and it's probably even more in this episode. Like it's you know, one step and there's something to loot, and another step and there's something to loot, and you know it's
yeah, it's true.
So
that doesn't seem to be very different in Shadow.
No, yeah, but that probably maybe could be worse. I don't know. I didn't check, but so that's a side mission. I have to say, what I've seen of the side missions in the two villages. Well, there's one village and one city, more or less, like a hidden city. I've only found like one real side quest. So I remember that in Rise there were several, but they were all uninteresting. Like, you know, get me some wood or do that.
Or repair the radar dish.
That kind of stuff. So here it's more. There's more story. Like this guy is as you can see. Having a hard time because he's exploited by this guy in the background who's kept his son and forces his son to work so that he is sure that he's going to do what he has to do. Well, it's not his son, sorry, it's the other guy he's sending me to, actually, my mistake. So, you know, it's not an incredible story, but there's and then you get to to explore a new area. It's not a big area, but there's an area with enemies, and it's an area that you're not going to see if you don't do the mission. Whereas
really?
in Rise, if you didn't do the side
it was
missions,
in the small
it was
small open
like,
world.
Like for example, it would be going to this house, taking something, and then bring it back to someone over there. That's not like that in Rise. But
That's nice.
the disappointing part may be, unless you go back to this place, but unless I don't see why the story would bring me back here, but it's possible because there's one character who's from this place, one important character. But I was hoping for at least 2 or 3 different side quests in the area, and there are things to explore, to find, right? To like things you like. Here, I'm going to take you to a crypt. It's not a tomb. It's a crypt.
Yeah, it's important to say that we are not allowed to show any tomb.
Well, we can
the
show
game is
tombs technically. We just cannot show how you actually solve the tomb.
them. Yeah. Wow.
So maybe in the end, I'll take you to a tomb in the hidden city, so you can just see that what I like about tombs. I've always liked tombs. I think it's a great addition to the sort of Uncharted genre. That
Also, now you can swim.
Yes,
you
and
swim.
that's really great, because that's something that was missing. And don't tell me that that she could swim in Rise, because yes, she could, but that was very limited.
Yes.
And so she can swim, and they are actually
now full-on swimming is back, and that's
yeah.
I don't know why it wasn't present before. That didn't make any sense. Right?
Well,
it was just such an important part of Tomb Raider before.
Yeah, it was, but it took Drake a few years to actually be allowed to also swim freely. So I don't know.
In Tomb Raider?
No, Drake. I mean, in Uncharted. It took,
in
took
Uncharted.
him a few
Okay.
years
Oh
to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Well, Drake is not Tomb Raider, so I don't care.
Sure, but he was not inspired, so they said, by Tomb Raider, more by the movies, but like Indiana Jones and everything. But so here, so this is a crypt, and all the crypts I've seen, they tend to look different, and you do different things, but it's mostly platforming. It's never difficult, but it's a nice touch, because from what I remember of the crypts in Rise, it was basically caves and things, and you found something in the end, but it was it looked very similar. So here there's a trap, something I showed in the videos, and you can actually get killed if you're not careful. And here you need to use your grappling hook, and what I find really annoying is that you're always reminded what you have to do, and there's no way to actually get rid of the press X, because you can use, or you have to use a grapple hook, so you can die.
I thought it was just for the beginning.
No, it's not the beginning of the game. So every time you need to use your grappling hook, on the way back they don't say it, like here they won't say it, but when you arrive, I mean, what should have happened is you're not told. You don't have the reflex, and you just die, and then you try again, because there's a checkpoint. Just like that's what happened to me when I got killed by the pointy spikes.
Yeah,
so,
that's modern game design.
Yeah, but that should be it should be possible to actually get rid of the information, and it's not, because when I do try to where is it? Maybe I'm not going to gameplay. No, it's not gameplay, is it? Oh, something that I would advise you not to use is the survival instincts, the eagle vision, just like in the
sorry about that.
just like in The Last of Us, it makes no sense, and you're better off without them, and it's more immersive, and it's game is not too difficult, and this the stealth sequences are not difficult, so don't make them even easier just using that. So I'm just going to come back, because you always have to come back, and it's never difficult, but still quite fun to understand where you can how you can actually leave. Although again, I deactivated.
There was something wrong with the animation there.
Sometimes happen. Maybe I just I have to say I don't.
Let me check on the stream.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, that didn't look right at all.
Yeah, the animations is it's clearly one aspect of the game that hasn't changed ever since 2013. And come on, it's been 5 years, and it's the reason why a lot of people have been complaining about, not the only one, but about Assassin's Creed, that the animation don't look modern enough. They haven't changed enough.
Changed a lot in Origins, but yeah.
A bit more, and from what I've seen in Odyssey, there are, it feels a bit different when you walk around and you run compared to before. But the thing is, I was expecting. I don't know if I was expecting it, but I think we should be expecting different animations. We take the example of Uncharted, but they added a lot of things in each episode. I remember that I think in 3, they added all the interaction between Drake touching the wall when getting close to a wall, things like that,
sure.
making him more human. Small things, small touches, but it made a difference. And when when I discovered Uncharted 4, I felt it was the next level of
absolutely. But is it really fair to compare Naughty Dog to?
No, sure.
To any other developer?
No, that's not.
Yeah. Well, in the end, we still paid the game the same price, so we could expect the same level of commitment and budget, I guess, from every other game. But that's not the way it is.
So basically, like I said, the way the game is built is very similar to what it was before in the 2 other games. You explore, you loot things, you find documents, you discover crypts or tombs, which are optional, and you jump around. It's all very assisted in that. You can die, but it's not the old Tomb Raider games where the problem is, for example, in the past with Lara, you knew exactly what she could do or what she could jump or not, except in Angel of Darkness, where you had to push a rock to then get stronger so you could actually make the jump, which was pretty stupid. But in this new series of Tomb Raider games, sometimes you have the impression that, oh no, it's too far, she's never going to make it.
Yeah,
but she does.
She's going to stick. Yeah,
she does, because suddenly it's like she's flying. And the reason is basically because there's
it happens even in Uncharted.
Sure, it's the same, because you cannot miss a jump unless you jump where you're not supposed to jump, which is very rare. So my point is, they do that because it's not a game. It's not a platforming game anymore. It's not a game where you need any skills or where you need to observe the environment. Yes, sure, you do need to observe the environment, especially if you the hard mode. Actually, all the paint that's supposed to show you the way on the walls and stuff, it's not there. So you tend to look a little bit more, but the jumping itself, it's just as easy as before. So and it's not difficult to read the environment anymore, to spot the where you can actually use your axe and things like that. It's just the textures, you recognize them. So I'd like to skip the cutscene, and most cutscenes you can skip, but this one you can't.
Okay. Yeah, we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, which is why I just wanted to show you something also that you already saw in the videos, but the enemy part. Like, okay, let's be stealthy in a very Assassin's Creed way, in a very Uncharted way, where the enemies are oblivious to what's going on around them, unless you really arrive guns blazing.
Jonah, I found the temple.
Great.
Damn. Trinity already there, trying to blast their way in.
I'm gonna take a closer look.
So again, you know, very nice view. Looks even better with HDR. The PC version is HDR compatible, which is good news. And you know, I'm not an expert usually, but me playing now without it, I can tell you that I prefer playing with HDR with this game. It looks better, at least on PC.
Yeah, I watched the Deftones video a few hours ago on my brand new shiny TV, and yeah, it looks really good.
He had a few problems with the setup of the device, like
What a surprise!
The colors. And he actually thinks Miguel, you know, I don't know,
Broke everything.
I don't know if he broke everything. So here, oh, that's a. Actually, see, I was too quick, so I was spotted, which is good. You know, again, it's good. So let's reload the checkpoint. I was too eager to actually get rid of the first guy very quickly. So it can happen.
Search underwater? He wants us to search everywhere.
But usually, you know, you do this. Okay, so let's say that, you know, they're not close to us, so that's why. But here, you know, just the sound of the water, and the guy over there just has no clue.
Well, they must have added quite a lot of animation just for the swimming.
I think you could. I don't know. I think you couldn't you kill people, like stealth kill people when you were in water, also in Rise. Can remember that
like
in
this.
some of the, you know.
I don't remember this. But maybe.
He's not usually like this.
Oh, I missed once.
Well, at least he got the sound of the, I guess, the arrow hitting.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
And he turned on the other way, so it's it's pretty good.
Yeah, and you can actually unlock arrows that are supposed to lure them in, you know, towards the arrow, and then there's a sort of poison gas killing them all. So that's convenient.
I know what I'm going to use.
Yeah, I think you don't get to craft a lot of them, at least not in the beginning. Like you have two, so you have to.
Too bad.
But yeah, I guess when you have all the equipment, probably can stay out of combat all the time. So one more thing I wanted to show you. I don't know if we'll have time to go to a tomb after that, but
7 minutes.
so you can use mods sometimes to you know, become invisible somehow.
Yeah.
So here,
Well, if it's Predator, I guess it works, but otherwise.
slow downs here. Xbox, PC, same thing. I think the streaming system of the game is not.
Also, did you get some slowdowns during cutscenes or things like that when the camera changed? Because
I don't remember that on PC, no.
John said that he only played on consoles, but on all 4 consoles, from time to time, when the camera changes in cutscenes and things like that, and he showed it on his video, and you get some small phrases during cutscenes, which well, it doesn't really make sense why it happens, and it's very distracting.
Cutscenes are okay on PC, as far as I've seen. I didn't notice anything strange. Gameplay.
It did show it when you were the water sequence, when you're caught in water and you're in the middle of a village or something like that, and during this, when the camera
I remember
changes.
that. I saw that on Xbox One X also when I recorded some footage. It's true.
But it's almost been an hour since last contact.
The commander doesn't abandon his people. If he says wait topside, he's got a damn.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main menu, because this is a sequence you've seen. I mean, if you watched the videos that I took so much time to prepare. The videos themselves it took time, but then having to add the voice, I'm not even sure I had to, but you know, they said that footage that we captured for yesterday was to be used as B-roll, so whatever that means.
Yeah, well, that means exactly what you did.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, except they said for a review, and me was like, well, okay, let's do 6 videos with different themes, and the hell with it. We'll see.
Ah, that works.
Yeah, that works well. No one actually arrived to kick our asses. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I think it's a bit of a shame. You cannot load
Is
a
it
game.
something we are already seen?
No, no,
Hidden
it's
City?
it's not. Well, I've shown the hidden city, but the entrance to the tomb I haven't shown.
Okay.
if
Yeah,
not-
no, but it's not
okay, that's it.
spoilers.
Well, technically, I mean, I'm not showing you where you have where you have to go to reach this place, but it's near the hidden city, and I'm not going to show you how to solve the
tomb.
the tomb. I'm just going to show you that to reach the tomb, you need to be Drake in Uncharted.
About the costumes she is wearing, is it contextual?
It's related to the main story.
Okay.
But you get to actually you can craft different costumes which have different abilities, or you can buy them also. Well, I have just used the first one that you also get because of the main story. Because I think it helps you be, more invisible, or let's say the enemies take more time to see you.
That must be the temple I saw from the riverbanks.
Okay, so we're reaching the tombs. At least this one is a bit of a challenge.
Well, it's not a challenge, but
You have
need
to find it.
Yeah, you need to find. Well, finding it
pass.
just like in the others,
it notifies you, but
Yeah.
you still have to find where
which
it is.
I think is a bad decision. Also, I think they should let people, especially because sometimes you even find a document or you meet someone who's going to tell you that there's
Sure.
a tomb or something. So they should never tell you unless you're in front of it.
Modern game design.
Exactly. But we're just too old for this shit. That's all.
Yeah.
The water is not always, this is not incredible, but it's something that I've seen so much in recent games, where you don't understand why water doesn't look better today.
Yeah. In some videos, even trailers, it did show like a river flowing below you, and it looked really, really bad. It's very strange.
So things to decipher more or less. You get XP for everything you do in this game, which is why you have to loot so many things and dig up so many things also.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. This is something that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's if you've never had any problem with that. So I'm just going to tease you. That's the route. Okay.
It looks like the
Okay.
cultists were just here.
So water-based.
Yeah. And if we, I
Puzzle.
don't know if we have a little time, but there's
We've
another
got
save.
2 minutes.
Okay, might be doable, or not.
Well, as usual, we'll be late.
Yeah, sure. It's not like
I'm already preparing the text. And it's not 9:30, but
I
9:40.
think that's the problem. Is you cannot load a game, when you're in the game, which is a bit annoying. Because that would make it easier to show the game to actually.
Oh, I forgot to put us live on. Whoops.
On Gamersyde.
Yeah.
So that's also near the hidden city, but it's also a place where that I haven't shown before. So very nice area again. And I'm not actually even. Oh yeah, I want to show you a tomb, because there's a crypt that's very nice also here. So look at this.
I'm looking.
Look at this, and dare tell me it doesn't look pretty.
Well, on my 150 to 80 window, it doesn't look that great. But
Oh, come on. There in this area there is a crypt and a tomb, but we're going to do the tomb because we're playing Tomb Raider. But we're not going to do the tomb. I'm just going to take you inside. I really like those moments when you know, it's scripted and it's not like you think she's gonna die, but when you feel the claustrophobia when she's stuck in between two rocks or something like that underwater, that's terrible. That's in a good way. I mean, you know, it's just oh my god, I wouldn't want to be with her. So underwater sequences again, and so you get a glimpse of what we can expect inside. Oops, I should probably and you're going to see that it's a different sort of atmosphere than the one I've taken you just before.
Bit of a grim welcome.
It actually looks a
I'll have
bit
to watch
like
my step.
what we had in Rise.
yeah, absolutely.
A bit less when...
Clearly reuse some textures there.
so you can rappel down now, which is a new thing, which is, you know, pretty cool. It's nothing incredible,
is.
but yeah, it works. Base camps everywhere.
Obsidian blades, never dull.
Yeah.
It's not Dark Souls, but could be. I thought, you know, when this happened, I thought, oh, now maybe she's going to be poisoned or something, and in this tomb, I don't know, there are going to be hallucinations. But no.
Nope.
It was just okay. She got hurt, but it's just another bruise, another wound. Okay, so look at this, and it's not even the tomb yet, right? It's just getting there.
The gate's open.
And you
Now
can
I just have to
actually,
get over there.
you know, there's something to loot over there. You know, see, in case you haven't noticed, it's all shiny.
It's glowing. Yeah.
And it's glowing, and it's not even you need to dig it up, right? So it's like crazy glowing thing which is underwater, but you have to dig up, but you can still see.
Yeah, and maybe it's radioactive.
Possibly, you know, Peruvian people maybe had a lot of radioactive things at the
Yep.
time. So again, look at this. Well,
Yeah.
too late, but,
I
you know,
saw
so-
that. Yeah.
yeah, but you can see that
that's
this wall, you can use your grapple hook on it. You don't need to be told, and you
Mm.
could be told in the beginning, or at least be given the choice to actually deactivate it, but you don't. So which means you don't even have to think when you could think just for 5 seconds maybe. We're gonna reach the room very soon.
Yeah, you just know that a focus group told them, no, I don't know how to do that, and they thought, okay, we have to put it
Look at
everywhere.
this. Look at this.
I'm looking. Pretty nice.
I think it's something that they showed in one of the trailers. I haven't actually watched many of them. I think I've actually watched none of them. But I think what you're about to see is something that you get a glimpse of it in one of the trailers. But I wanted to, when I played it yesterday, spend my evening playing in the hidden city, just, you know, not going forward, just exploring. There was a side mission. Also chose to select like native language for all the characters that are not like main characters. So when you speak to someone on the street, when it's a side quest or when it's not, they speak in Quechua, I think, or
Mhm.
you know, some sort of lost language. And I think it sounds better than when they speak English, even though strangely enough Lara only answers in English and they do understand everything. But so that's a challenge too,
I need to find a way
Nice.
to climb that. Or
and it
lower
looks very
somehow.
nice. And it's really not easy, difficult. First you need to understand for what you need to do, obviously. But the thing is, it's cool, but at the same time, I wish they had pushed the the timing thing, because clearly when you figure out what you have to do, you know, there are like traps and things, but if you simply like if you run immediately, you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in the old Tomb Raider games, that would never have been the case. They could have sometimes give you like a timer, like you have to be very quick to do something, or you won't get out of the room. But you still had to be very careful. Here, yeah, sure, you have to press a button and everything, but it's really easy. But still, it's a nice place. Well, sort of nice, I guess. And it's a challenge. So it's more. It's not about using your brain so much. It's more about using Lara's speed to actually. Oops, sorry. What did I do? It is how we should.
And
probably
it's
end.
a nice way to end. Yeah, and another fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, next Gamersyde Live.
I have no clue.
Which game?
I don't know.
is next?
I think it's going to be quieter for. Well, I mean, games are going to be released, but I think before the end of September and the beginning of October, big games are not going to get released. So unless we are sent games like Forza Horizon 4 or even Assassin's Creed Odyssey way before release and the embargo lifts early enough, whatever we stream, if we do stream, will be a minor game or an indie game. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. I just hope that I'll be fit enough to do something for the website, because be getting surgery. It's not dangerous surgery, but when you get surgery, you're not running everywhere. So I don't know if I'll be able to sit on a couch and play video games. I don't even know that. So we'll see. But before that happens, before the surgery thing at the end of September, maybe there will be a few games. I don't know.
Who knows? All right. So well, see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for watching. And as usual, if you have anything to say, just add a comment and tell us what we can do to make you happier.
Yep. See ya.
So yeah.